R2-D2 grants him a 2, and he moves his little Luke forward.
What item of Chewbacca's did the Ewok seize after capturing him?
His, bowcaster.
That is correct.
Ammon Klingo won't be stumped by Star Wars. In fact, his answers come quicker than any sleep. He's been here 15 days, the second longest stretch of anyone at Winsong Theaters, but he's third in line.
The guy who's second, his wife's having a baby today.
This is no child's play to the over 100 people who've staked their claim to a Star Wars ticket 1 week from tomorrow. Each one of the camps out here represents about 10 to 15 fans. They don't have to stay here all of the time, but the Jedis do have to return once every 24 hours to keep their place in line. There's lots to keep everyone busy: lightsaber training, games, books, television, and of course, talking.
Use the Force, Luke. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
And there has been suffering. Riverwood's property management made them take down their tents in the middle of a rainstorm a few days back.
Things dry, you can replace most of the things that got destroyed.
These troopers say no matter the obstacle, the Force won't let them give up.
This is what it's all about. I mean, it's Star Wars.
Like if George Lucas was to drive by, I don't know, he'd probably say thanks. It's good to know people care.
After a 30-hour campout at Century, Randy Burns in Tooele was the first one in line to buy the first set of tickets. He got 4 tickets for opening night on the 19th and the rest for the following Friday and Saturday night. For Randy,
I'm champion of the world.
behind him, approximately another 1,799 people, all ages. Some here saw the original Star Wars 22 years ago. Others weren't even born yet. 2-year-old Jackson Wilson is getting ready for yet another generation of fans from the original trilogy. Just mentioned Darth Vader. Kevin Wolford and Joseph Doucette here closed up their business, tech training and consulting, so all the employees could come here to buy their tickets.
Some things you just have to do.
This transcends money.
It does.
It does. Needs to be done.
The campout began last night in a parking lot adjoining the theater. Some fans were in costume. Others played games, read books, or became performers. For theaters and fans like Daniel Wilson and Richard Hill, Star Wars is a gift that keeps on giving.
I personally think I'll probably go
5 or 6,
yeah,
7.
Probably even more than that. At least 8 times I'll probably go and see it.
Can't get out that way.
Looks like you managed to cut up our only escape route.
Maybe you'd like it back in your cell, Your Highness.
22 years ago, Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford took on roles as princely rogues, trying to pluck a princess from the dark side of a force.
I never knew it was going to be a phenomenon. I just thought it was a good movie. I didn't really think in terms of whether it would make money or not.
The movie opened downtown Salt Lake at a large classic theater called the Center. The theater is no more, long since torn down. Mark Hamill, too, has aged, taking on a new stage career on Broadway.
When I was doing Broadway, everything was that Broadway show, and you can't bring a truckload of lightsabers behind you there.
But the fans who stood in line in 1977 are standing in theater lines again in 1999 with their children and their children's children to follow an everlasting story with new actors and new technology. This time, though, the old classic theaters with big screens are not coming down. They're getting a major facelift. The screen, the sound system, the size of the auditorium, even the insulation batting on the wall. When it comes to this newest batch of Star Wars films, Lucas is making some demands. Twin 12 Cinema in Twin Falls is among many theaters in Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, and Nevada, which is not about to let big chain competitors steal the audience away. Technicians from Clayco out of Salt Lake have been working day and night to meet customer demands in 5 Intermountain states.
Right now, I've got about everybody I can find working for me to get digital systems installed by the 19th.
Theater owner Larry Roper says audiences will drive miles to experience Phantom Menace in new generation sound. So, for this 30-year-old auditorium in Twin Falls, new digital electronics, acoustical padding for the walls and ceiling, Lucas's new added encoded center surround sound, which moves flybys not only left and right, but from forward front to rear for a complete encircled experience. When Phantom Menace opens Wednesday, Roper wants this to be the only show in town, and perhaps beyond, in Burley and Sun Valley.
If they do not do the new 6-channel sound, it will bring people to Twin Falls to see what the 6-channel digital does over a 5-channel digital.
Though changes are expensive, rural theaters know digital is the good side of the force now and beyond, but especially now.
If you don't have Star Wars, and that could be a very bleak spring.
Midnight, 2 a.m., it didn't matter. Star Wars fans lined up hours early to get good seats, mostly in big auditoriums with big screens and good sound. And when Phantom Menace ended, these first-day crowds applauded and cheered.
It sure was worth the 4.5-hour wait we had to wait out of line. It was really good.
It was great. It's just, it went too fast. There was too much story in too little time.
We really liked it. We got the tickets. We're sitting here for the next showing.
You're kidding?
No.
In Provo, New Skin International bought tickets for a private screening so employees wouldn't have to miss work. Others, like Tech Training and Consulting in Salt Lake, bought tickets and simply closed up shop at noon. Owners Kevin Wolford and Joseph Doucette called the partial day off sort of a moral imperative.
I remember 6 years old being in line for the original Star Wars, and we're owning our company, we got to take our people out. I mean, we're all geeks here, we do computers. I mean, what else can you expect?
Did the employees agree? Is getting behind at work here worth it? Or has the whole thing turned into just too much hype?
Never.
What?
Star Wars is Star Wars. It's a beautiful thing.
No one would get anything done anyway. We'd all be thinking about the movie, so we got to go see the movie, so we get it out of the way so we can get back to work.
Some movie critics just shake their heads over the mania, but fans don't care.
My sons are going to go crazy.
Yeah, I don't agree with them. I think it's an excellent show, and I would see it again and again.
Star Wars fans had to wait 3 years for the first sequel to the original movie released in 1977. And in May of 1980, fans were lining up for tickets to go see The Empire Strikes Back. One woman told us she'd seen the original Star Wars 35 times. And yes, this was long before we'd ever heard of renting a movie and watching it on our own VCR.
We got here a little after 8 this morning. And we waited from then until 11, got in to see the movie. It was great.
It had a lot more surprises in this movie than the last one. It was like every time the scenery changed, there was something new happening. It was a lot more stunning.
3 years after Han Solo was frozen in carbonite and Luke Skywalker learned who Darth Vader really was, the anticipated Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, had Star Wars fans lining up once again.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 47. It's a trap.
My husband got a line about 5:30, 6 o'clock, yeah.
Why don't you just wait and see this movie in 2 weeks?
Because this way I'll know what everybody else is talking about and I can tell them how cool it is.
And of course, the Star Wars phenomenon continued in the mid-1990s with the release of the new special edition versions of the trilogy.
Look, Jabba, next time you want to talk to me, come see me yourself.
So after waiting 16 years for Episode 1 of the Star Wars saga, it's no surprise Star Wars fans are already eagerly anticipating the release of Episode 2, even though it is at least 3 more years away. With the Eyewitness News timeline, Sam Penrod, Eyewitness News.